It's time to introduce our paper reviewer on BBC Radio London. He's actually a friend of the show. He's joined us previously, so it's great to have him back. But he's launching a brand new book. It is now available for pre-order, and it's entitled Small Change, Big Difference. It tells the untold story of how he founded and began the country's fastest growing charities. To tell us more about it, I'm delighted to say that we have the founder of PennyAppeal, Adeem Younis. Adeem, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. How have you been?
Very well, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on this evening.
Now,
I'm really good, thank you.
Adeem, there's a lot to talk to you about. I know you've actually got a couple of stories that you'd also like to delve into, but seeing as how I've mentioned your book, let's first discuss that, shall we? Was this a long-term project and then lockdown hit, so you actually had time to finally sit down and write the book? I mean, how did this all come about with Small Change, Big Difference?
That is actually exactly how it's happened. So we're 12 years old now, and the book was kind of poised to be published and set up on our 10th anniversary.
Right.
And that didn't happen because we just got so busy with everything else, and it's like one of those back burner projects. I want to write a book. I really want to tell the story. I want to tell the world why, what's the inspiration, what's the passion.
Yeah.
And then, you just kind of get delayed, and lockdown hit. And it's like, okay, we can do something. What we're going to do? Let's write a book.
I mean, let's set the context and the scene for anyone who may not have heard of PennyAppeal. You actually set this up, as you just said, over 10 years ago, and the charity has already raised over £100 million. You yourself, you're an award-winning British Muslim philanthropist, and you've done a lot of work in terms of really helping those that need help. The organisation is an international humanitarian charity. You work within 56 countries. This has obviously been a real passion for you, but how do you set that in context of your book? Because you grew up in a single-parent family in West Yorkshire in a council estate. To go from that to where you are now, it must be quite a journey.
It's been a phenomenal journey, and there's been so many highs. We're twice Guinness World Record breakers. We've had ambassadors, any kind of big major celebrity, Muslim, Asian. We've had them on our tours, comedy tours, movie tours. We've done Christmas pantos with PennyAppeal.
Yeah.
It's been a phenomenal journey, and a lot of people have heard about PennyAppeal. They've been to our events. They've seen us on the television. We've been trending on Twitter and everything. And what I wanted to tell people was the lows, really, the tears, the heartbreak, the struggle, really, of being a success, the success that we made it. And it talks about the team and the journey at the beginning in terms of just having that idea. Where did that idea come from? And it really is, the title of the book is Small Change, Big Difference. And it was initially, pennies for me. Back when I was a child, when I was 6 years old, I, sadly lost my father. And then, it was a single parent family, myself and two siblings. Mum learned to drive back in the 80s. It wasn't a thing. Asian women didn't drive. Asian women didn't have a business. They didn't sell up a market stall. And my mum was a driving force within the community, and she did everything that she could to not just be a mother to us, but be a father as well, and really didn't want us to go without anything. And
Such an inspirational story of your mum.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, it's a dedication to her, and she's really kind of nervous about it being released. Yeah, because my private life has always been my private life, and I didn't really want anybody to judge me and say this is the chap who's lost a father, or this is the person who didn't have a breadwinner in the house. And I was desperate to create my own identity, and I set up a digital app-based matrimonial website, and then from there, we got to such a success point where you think to yourself, what is the purpose of life?
Yeah.
Is this it? You're making money hand over fist, and it's a digital.com dream where you're making money on a weekend, on an evening, on a bank holiday. And then you think, there's got to be much bigger purpose. There's more to life. What is it all about? What is it all about?
I think it's an important story that we've got to hear, especially during the last 12 months when we've seen some, real stories of feat where people have come out, where they've given their all, wherever they possibly can to help each other. Now, as we've mentioned, the name of the book is Small Change, Big Difference. What I'd suggest you do, if you're tuning into the show and you're enticed and you want to know more, then head to the the website. It's PennyAppeal.org. What I love is BBC Dragon's Den, James Caan has said, from zero to £100 million in just 10 years, I'm in. And I guess, that kind of sets the context and the scene of what you can expect to read with the book. Stay with us, Adeem. There's a lot more to talk about. Having a great chat today with Adeem Younis. He is the founder of Penny Appeal. It's actually one of Britain's fastest growing charities. In the last just over 10 years, the charity has raised over £100 million, not just for organisations in this country or for projects here, but also internationally as well. His brand new book, which very much tells you about the journey of how it all began, is called Small Change, Big Difference, and it's available for pre-order now. If you'd like further details, head to the website. It's PennyAppeal.org. Do you find, just coming on what you're saying, Adeem, if we bring it back for a moment, obviously yourself being the founder, as we mentioned earlier on, of a charity of Penny Appeal, do you find that these are kind of the conversations that you're also having to have as an organisation when you are, reaching out to communities? Obviously, during the last 12 months with the pandemic, we know that many charities, including yours, have done all that you possibly can to help families right across the country.
Yeah, and it's surprising still the amount of education that's needed, because we've got a COVID helpline where people speak to us. We've been distributing food and hygiene kits, but we've also been distributing educational material for children and cash grants as well. So we've done an immense amount of work during the COVID period for those that are less fortunate in the UK, and we've done a huge amount of work elsewhere. It just shows that the impact of COVID isn't just with people who catch COVID, but the communities and those less fortunate that kind of get pushed down or pushed out, that are struggling anyway. They're struggling in their day-to-day life. Right. And something like this does impact people, especially that are on the breadline, and especially people that are
just kind of
really
pushes them over at the edge a little bit, doesn't it? Really?
It really, really, really does. And people don't hear about it as well, because they're very voiceless. People that are not able to say this is our struggles or this is what we're doing, and those people that have got family that are in hospital, that are struggling, that are in ICU units, they can't go to see the loved ones either.
It's been so hard,
visit
hasn't
individuals.
it? I mean, for anyone who's, I'm sure their ears will have perked up when they heard you saying that, Penny Appeal has a COVID helpline. Give us the details for that. There may well be somebody who's tuning into the show who may need that extra support.
And it's all on the website, PennyAppeal.org. That's PennyAppeal.org. The helpline details are on there. All our COVID support packages are on there as well. So if anybody needs help with educational tools, if anybody needs help at home, if anybody needs help with anything else in terms of charitable, and the details in terms of contacting our teams, and they've been amazing. Our volunteers have been amazing. They've got kind of going out with their masks on and really helping. And hats off to the amazing team. And I've got a corny saying at the office, which is teamwork makes the dream work.
It's
and
true.
These guys have been. It is absolutely true.
Yeah.
And they've been working throughout tirelessly, evenings, weekends, volunteering, putting the packs together, distributing the packs, and putting themselves at danger to help other people. It's just like these guys are the absolute heroes.
You're absolutely right. All of our volunteers who've helped in any and every single which way that they can you're absolutely right. Look, we've got to leave it there just because of time. But Adeem, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And I'm sure if you're up for it, we'd love to get you back on, in the coming months to get an update firstly on how things are going with the charity, but of course also to have a chat with you in general about your stories of the week. Hope that you have a lovely rest of your weekend, and best of luck, of course, with the new book. It's called, as we mentioned earlier on in the show, Small Change, Big Difference. Head to the website PennyAppeal.org if you'd like further details. Thanks again, Adeem, for joining us tonight.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.